Let it rip.
Babe.
What?
That's for farting.
No, it's for Beyblade.
What?
You never play Beyblade?
What the hell is that? Hey lovely people, how are you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful, great time no matter where you're in the world. My name is Bliss with the second episode of Master Dreamer, here with my beautiful partner.
Star here.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you every single one of you for watching our show today.
Or listening to the podcast, wherever you do listen to your favorite podcasts. If you haven't listened or watched the first episode, it was about our experience with awakening, and this episode in particular, it is very important to both of us because I hear a lot of times when we talk to a lot of people about their misconceptions on their spirituality or awakening, or all the things that the society has instilled in us since we are kids, that hey, if you want to be spiritual, if you want to reach a higher level of consciousness, you're gonna have to be a monk and go in a mountain, and
or you're gonna be a gypsy,
and disconnect from the world, or you're gonna go cuckoo, all that kind of stuff. So for that reason,
or you're gonna hug trees.
That's right. Well, I mean, you should hug trees.
There's nothing wrong with that
you shouldn't. But for that reason, we are gonna in this episode we are gonna talk about some of the most significant people within the recent history of humanity who have actually shaped the direction that we have gone, and we're gonna tell you what's special about all these people.
And
all of them.
Yeah, you were actually, I think 90% of the people we're going to talk about today, everybody has heard of.
Yeah. So everybody we're going to name, you definitely have heard of. If you haven't, she's right, the 10%, we're going to tell you who they are. But the most important thing is all of these people that we're going to talk about have one thing in common. Other than being human, they have another thing in common, which we're going to get to right after we go through a quick list of our favorites who have shaped humanity's history.
Drum roll. Can we do it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that was...
I think we could do better.
Yeah.
We should get drumsticks for next time.
Oh, we have them.
We have them next time.
Yeah, next time.
This is our second episode. It's gonna get better as we go.
That's right, it will. That's the point. But let's get to our group of wonderful humans who have made a world of difference. So we're gonna start with the one and only. If you ask anybody who's the most famous or smartest human alive in the recent history, or who's the smartest scientist ever, most likely it's one of these two guys. You're either gonna hear of Albert Einstein, or you're gonna hear about Nikola Tesla. So for a lot of people, Tesla is actually very less known because obviously he's from, a lot earlier time. Not a lot. I mean, in a sense of time, it's not a lot.
I mean, the movie was out. There was a movie about Tesla that was released a few months ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think a lot of you have watched it. If you haven't watched it, it's a good
Netflix.
It's a good movie to watch.
You should catch it. It does tell you the truth about what the Tesla story was. A lot of people think Edison is the person that actually invented electricity, where in fact that is not true. The truth is Tesla is the person who has, by a lot of scientists, been named as the father of the modern era of basically 20th century, because without electricity, the AC, or alternating current electricity that he invented, versus Edison that invented the DC, which is really now only used in batteries that we are putting into our devices. Without AC technology of Tesla, we wouldn't have anything we have today. Mind you, newsflash, Tesla was actually a genius that figured out how to produce electricity from Earth's magnetic field without any resources of Earth used, because currently we either have to use water or wind or nuclear power or fossil, depending on where you are, to produce electricity, which means we are using natural resources and we are dependent on them, which is, what definitely the big companies want us to continue doing. But Tesla figured out a way where for free, he could harness the energy of the earth, of the electromagnetic field, to catch and produce electricity, and to make it better, to transfer the electricity wirelessly anywhere in the world. We're talking, guys, between the years of 1930 to 1945-ish. Okay, this is not like 2300 technology. We are talking about 100 years ago. So this technology did exist. Obviously, it got destroyed on purpose by people who did not want free electricity for the world, for obvious reasons.
I get goosebumps every time I hear that.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does suck. Obviously, after Tesla, we get to Albert Einstein. Obviously, ever since the modern physics came into the world and was, I guess, explained and put together by Sir Isaac Newton about 400 years ago, until Albert Einstein came, we were only talking about one level of physics, which was really talking about the gravity, the speeds, and, all these goodies that we're still using to this date. However, when Einstein came out, he just revolutionized the world of physics with, completion of the quantum field of physics, contributing more to it, but most importantly, his formula of the
E equals MC squared.
Yes, the famous formula. Which
I hope every one of you knows that, because if you don't, you didn't do your physics right in high school.
Everybody should know that one. Which really is...
if I'm a girl and I know it, then you should know it.
Wait, what does that mean? Girls are smart.
I know, but a lot of girls don't know physics.
They should, and there are a lot of girls do nowadays.
Okay.
A lot of engineer women are actually in NASA and in SpaceX, which is actually beautiful to see them out there.
It's amazing.
Yes. All the power to women who are actually getting out there and closing that gap of inequality.
Yes. I want to kind of introduce someone that they have heard of a bit more.
Sure. Then do your thing, girl.
I mean, I think almost everybody knows about this famous actor called Jim Carrey.
Oh man, he's my favorite.
Oh my God, he's my favorite.
Jim is definitely...
He is amazing. If you don't think he's amazing, I don't know what's wrong with you.
It just means you don't appreciate proper, embodiment of what an actor should be, which is absolutely crazy. What was that movie we were watching last night? Documentary?
Andy and Jim. Jim and Andy.
Jim and Andy, something like that.
The Great Beyond.
All you need to do is just watch that and you'll understand what it means to... Actually, Payam told me to watch that the first time.
Yeah,
a few years back.
But even all the movies I think Jim's played, they're all very awakening and very eye-opening.
Yes. But that's the pinnacle of his performance.
Yeah.
The Jim and Andy, as much as the movie wasn't big, that became a pinnacle, in my opinion.
Yeah. But even the movie Mask, I think everybody has watched it already. It's the one that beautiful. He gets the mask, he puts it on, he turns it into this green new human.
Oh, yeah.
That's about awakening as well. It just says, you can become a totally new human. And as soon as you put a mask on, and you don't really need to put a mask on, like you can truly be who you are. Basically, kind of like everybody is kind of like the opposite. It's like everybody always has a mask on of who they are not, and who they're pretending to be.
Are we on this camera now?
Yep.
Center camera? Okay, baby, we're here now. So just look at me. You're good.
Yeah.
Let me gaze into your beautiful eyes. Okay, continue.
So yeah, basically, that.
Yeah, Mask is beautiful too. So thank you for cutting ahead and introducing one of our favorites. The next person in the list would be, let's go to a spiritual one. This man is a spiritual power, in the modern history of humanity, and most of you have heard of him, if not know him. His name is Osho. Osho is actually I don't know, a guru doesn't even do him justice, but yeah, Osho is Osho. It doesn't need any introduction. If you don't know who he is, just YouTube Osho and listen to a few of his things. You're gonna just literally be like, what? Okay, anyways.
Any musicians here?
Yeah, Osho is huge. Osho is huge. Then we got, thank you, musicians. We're going to go to artists. We got Mozart, right? The one and only. Mozart was actually, I was just telling Payam that Mozart was, he has this thing, this line, a quote that I read from him where he said, I don't care if people like or dislike what I do. I do what I do just because I want to do it. And again, Mozart, he has, even if you don't listen to classical music, just the fact that you have heard of his name is just a sign enough that somebody from the 1600 era, what is it, 1650 if I'm not mistaken, about 300-400 years later we are still hearing his name. That's massive. Right up next we got our main guy, Elon Musk. That guy needs no introduction to anybody.
He's my alien buddy.
Stop saying that. Some people say he's an actual alien, which he's not. He's just a woke human, which is a superhuman, which is everybody. So anyways, Elon Musk
He's not an alien.
Yes. Elon Musk is absolutely somebody that I don't even know like how to put into words, because he's achieved so much as one person individual. I mean, he says that it's all been teamwork. That's him being humble, but he's been the power and the mind behind so much greatness in the world, like SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, which is like, he's actually making tunnels underneath LA, connecting different like underground, so people could go like underground highways with their Teslas. If you haven't looked into it, do look into that. And one of those companies alone would have been like a fit for one person to achieve in their lifetime. Meanwhile, this guy's like doing like 3. Oh, there's also like the solar panels, so don't forget those. Yeah, Elon is crazy. Elon is actually just
kudos to him. Honestly, hats off.
Yeah, and he's promising to, although we're going to get to this probably later on when we talk about Nassim, but his idea of bringing human population to occupy Mars and I guess colonize Mars by 2035 looks to be happening, on track, which is also another huge fit. If he gets to pull it off, then that would be something that will definitely bring humanity as a race, as a species to the next level, which is going to be interplanetary instead of just being on one planet, which is definitely a big boost and big, I guess, ascension in our rise to the top.
And this is the result of an incredible amount of work from people at SpaceX, people at NASA. This has been 18 years to finally fly people to orbit and back. I think this is something that the whole world can take some pleasure in, and can really look at this as an achievement of humanity. And these are difficult times when there's not that much good news, and I think this is one of those things that is universally good, no matter where you are on planet Earth. This is a good thing, and I hope it brightens your day. Thank you.
Then we got 2 people again. These are spiritual figures. One of them is, our main man, everybody's man, Jesus Christ, like Jesus, everybody knows Jesus. Nobody needs to explain who he was. The only thing I want to put in a bracket is Jesus was not white, bro. Like Jesus was born in Middle East. He was Jewish. Have you ever been to Middle East? Like, even if today there are white people, that's because of hundreds of years of European colonization. But 2,000 years ago, there was no white people in Middle East. So I still don't understand why people say Jesus was white. But anyways, Jesus was definitely a figure that I think even for hundreds of years moving forward, he's going to be known. And he's going to be big. Then we have Rumi. Rumi is one of the he's a poet, world-renowned poet. From what year was Rumi from, Payam, if you tell me? But Rumi is actually he was a Persian poet.
I think he's from 1800s.
What? No.
Older?
No. Earlier. He was born in 1207. Oh, there
wow.
we go. Yeah, that's about 800 years ago. This is interesting. So Rumi is actually again, as I said, world renowned. And the thing about Rumi is he's one of the only poets in the world that has so many basically has his stuff translated to so many languages. And that's because his poems actually reach out beyond to his own people, and in his own language. There was such substance in his poetry that it actually touches everybody's heart. If you're a seeker, then you can definitely find so much within so many levels of understanding within his poetry. Yeah, thank you. So we got Kenneth Wilbur. He's my favorite scientist right now, philosopher, and he's definitely somebody I'm studying heavily right now. Kenneth Wilbur is actually a figure that is, a lot of people are calling him the Einstein of physics. You know how I was just saying Einstein came out and overhauled the understanding of the science of physics ever since Newton. Same thing happened in the world of psychology. We have Freud and if I'm not mistaken, Pavlov. They were the founding fathers of psychology. I mean, Freud, we know he was, but ever since then, there's been like little contributions, as with every field of science, to make it better and better. But in the same sense that physics had Einstein to come and completely blow the door off, in the world of physics, there was no, in the world of psychology, there was no such person. So Kenneth Wilbur is the person that has come in the world of psychology, and he has actually literally brought our understanding of human psyche, the consciousness, and put a very big spotlight on parts of psychology and the science of psychology that didn't really exist until he came in and kind of started putting all these out there. Integral theory, integral community, they're all his kind of brainchild. And it's an expanding and ever-growing school of thought in the world of psychology. We're very exciting stuff. Then we got, who else do we got? We got, you said Jim Carrey. Oh, a founding father of United States, Mr. the one and only Benjamin Franklin. Mr. Franklin, he was definitely, everybody knows Franklin, and I mean, definitely hats off to him and the rest of founding fathers. They did something completely crazy. Next one is Mermaid's favorite.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah. Anthony Robbins needs no introduction to anybody. Again, he's reached out millions of people from all around the world. I think you should do a better introduction on him than I would.
He's the #1 life and business coach right now.
I think he's been that since 30 years ago.
He's been practicing for 44 years, actually.
That's crazy.
And he's only 60 years old.
That's definitely crazy. And how many companies he's running too?
Maybe 60.
What? No,
Yeah.
I thought you said 30.
30?
Yeah.
No, he owns a lot of companies.
Okay, well, I mean, even 30 is too many.
Yeah. No, I think he said 58.
Okay.
I think he has 58
but whatever
companies.
it is, this man has.
But it's not even about the number of companies. It's about how many people's lives he's changed and how many people's lives he's touched.
He's touched so many people's lives, and he left so many lives for better that it doesn't even matter.
And he's just so positive and such a
guy's
force and such a
of like
magnet, like
positivity,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
oozing out. So we got somebody else too. Next guy, that's your guy too.
oh, Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually, for a lot of you that don't know, Jim Carrey talks about Eckhart Tolle as well. He
As a person that he had his awakening with, right? Is that
he kind of had part of it.
part of it?
Part of his awakening was because of him.
Yeah.
So Eckhart has wrote so many books. The
That's
one
right.
that I'm actually reading right now, it's called The Power of Now.
That's right.
And
It's
it is
amazing book.
absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal. Yeah, Eckhart again is one of those people that he's been all around the world. He's a spiritual guide. He's a beacon of light. That is what he is. He's beyond a spiritual guide or a coach. I don't even think he calls himself a life coach because he's an author, and he's definitely out there. The next guy is my favorite guy, Doctor. He doesn't call himself doctor, but he is a doctor. He's
actually a
neurosurgeon.
neurosurgeon.
He's a neurosurgeon. Don Miguel Ruiz. Or Rui.
And he is so amazing. He
Oh
is so
my
amazing.
God.
Full of positivity. He's just so calm and
my
beautiful.
God.
Not look wise, but just as a soul, a
But
beautiful
even when
soul.
you look at him, have you ever looked at him? The guy is so soft and he's so calm, and you just look at him and you're just like, oh my God, I just feel calm. Don Miguel Rui actually has, he's from a lineage of
Toltecs.
Oh yes, Toltecs. How the hell did I forget this?
I know.
Yeah, so they're Toltecs, and these are like people that had the art and the know-how of staying in the level of consciousness while experiencing life to the T. And for different reasons, as the colonization of North America was happening, because some people were coming and learning these powers and they were putting them into bad use. The Toltecs actually started and decided to go kind of underground for a very long time until Don Miguel Rui was blessed and got the blessing from his lineage to bring the message of the Toltecs, of the message of free living as a free being to the world. His book, The Four Agreements, is one of his most loved and best-selling books worldwide. I think it's been translated in over 30 languages. Mm-hmm. He has written many books. And the Fifth Agreement, the Mastery of Love. There's the three rules of life, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, our guy here, Don, is the man when it comes, or the authority when it comes to all things spiritual.
If you haven't read his books, I totally suggest you read at least two of his books. One, The Four Agreement, and the second would be The Mastery of Love. And it would be such a huge, huge, huge life-changing experience for you guys.
That's right. And to be honest, another thing that is very, very important is that, again, as we're trying to unveil some of the wrong and misconceptions about, the world of spirituality and being a human being versus human doing, which is what we have all been doing for hundreds of years, is that we need to understand who these people are that we are talking about, because, as I said, all of them have one thing in common, and that is, spoiler alert, that they're all woke human beings. So, the terminology woke, that everybody's been using it so lightly. Before I had my awakening, I would see like kids walking around me like, hey bro, have you seen that guy? He's so woke. And then I'll be like, who's woke? And then we would just go check his Instagram, and the guy is saying yeah, go outside, work out, make your body proper. I'm like, that's not woke though. That's just some personal trainer, which is good. It's not a problem. It's just there is a big difference. But anyways, moving on, who did I feel like we missed somebody in that list. We got, my main guy, Nassim Haramein. Nassim is, oh my God.
Yeah, he's half Persian, half Italian.
Is it Italian or is Swedish?
No,
I don't know.
He's half Persian,
European,
half Italian.
half Persian, Iranian.
He's such a can't even talk.
Force of life.
He's such a force of life too.
Yeah.
So positive.
So true.
Like the energy drips from him. Yeah. So
Nassim is actually he has a story. I cannot wait to tell you the story of Nassim, but Nassim is definitely out there. He had some experiences, some out-of-body experiences when he was a child in school, and then ever since then he figured something was up that was beyond this physical life that we're all living. And he actually apparently didn't finish school, and for 5 years he gets a van, lives in his van, and he starts studying crazy physics. 5 years in his van, in the back of his van, and just living there and studying. And he just actually taught himself everything he needed to know. And today he's actually one of the most prolific scientists, physicists of our generation. Many people in the world of physics are today calling for him to be nominated for the next Nobel Prize in physics. A lot of people are saying he is the next Einstein of our time, because he is his ideas that he's bringing to the table are so revolutionary that you cannot say he is just contributing to the world of physics. He's actually creating something that had a void, which was the connection between the quantum physics, which is the scientific study of the smallest particles and the effects that they have on our universe, which is a microcosms, right? And connecting that to our reality, to the world of consciousness and the spirituality side of things. I know a lot of people, and as he says, a lot of scientists were giving him grief initially, because he's been doing this as well for 30 years, as he was going around in different seminars and trying to talk to people and, trying to contribute and give them his 2 cents. But today he's getting to a point where, he just had a TED talk, which is absolutely crazy. We're going to put a link on that on this video as well. And he is literally somebody that I follow religiously, because his amount of knowledge is not of this world, truly. And he says himself too that a lot of it comes from not this world, obviously, from a place above. We go, quantum vacuum fluctuation is definitely his, I guess he coined that, which we're going to get to in our later topics, amongst the many things he's doing. What else are we doing? Where are we? Oh, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He is actually huge in the world of, energy centers and, human consciousness. And he does a lot of different amazing seminars, has different books. He is, I guess, a faculty member at the Quantum University or Quantum School of learning. Excuse the fact that I do not know the exact names. We're going to put them on the screen if you're watching the video, and if you're listening to the podcast, by all means come and check us out. If we have any issues when we're talking, we're going to correct them in the video or in the descriptions.
Dr. Stephen Greer.
Oh yeah, Stephen Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer is definitely another one that I think what he's doing is really affecting humanity's direction, because he is unveiling some of the most fundamental, flawed and wrongly instilled fears inside all of us of ETs, extraterrestrials, that have been purposely with agenda put into our minds. Very interesting stuff that come from Dr. Greer. Actually, he made 3 documentaries. The first one was Serious. The second one was Unacknowledged. And the third one was, the recent one was Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. He is actually no conspiracy theorist. He has consulted many
Presidents of the United States.
Exactly. He's been officially advising them. He has proof of all of that. He shows everything. Everything is documented with him, and he's absolutely a force to reckon with. And single-handedly, he's pushing against the false agenda on ETs. And I have so much love and respect for Dr. Greer. It's absolutely crazy. Dr. James Fatiman, he is the forefront on the guy and scientist on the study of psychedelics. He has spent over 30 years and dedicated really his life to the science of psychedelics and their effect on healing humans on different levels. We're talking mental, emotional, spiritual, many different things. The journey... a guide to a psychedelic journey, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna put up the book, is one of his most famous books that almost everybody who wants to delve into the world of psychedelics. By the way, we're not condoning any of that stuff. If it's illegal in your area, please be mindful of that. But for those who do seek information, they all go to him. He is the Bible of the world of psychedelics, which is now just picking up in where is it? Which state in United States was legalizing weed before Canada?
Was it Atlanta?
No, Washington. Washington.
No.
If I'm not, Colorado. So in Colorado, this year, in the 2000...
I think all drugs are legalized now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in 2020, Colorado just legalized all drugs recreationally. And mark my word, friends, this is something that is going to spill over everywhere else, because the same thing happened with weed. Colorado was amongst the first states that did that, and now half the United States are legalizing weed recreationally. About half of them, if I'm not mistaken, but it's going there. And hopefully this year Biden actually legalizes classifies cannabis from the Article 1, which is going to be huge. And once he does that, everybody else will follow suit. The thing is, the war on the drugs, many sociologists and psychologists and scientists have proven that the war on drugs was just a waste of money, resources, and it achieved nothing. It just actually pushed everything underground more, jailed a lot of wrong people for no reason, without actually providing knowledge, supervision, because humans still do what humans want to do. They don't stop taking drugs. Now the drugs just moved into the hands of the cartels.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. And, the cartels fund their other criminal activities through drug sales, which kind of, I understand if you're against kind of any kind of consumption, but you have to also be aware that when you're against it, you should also be against cartels that are funding and moving all the drugs right now. All the shootings and everything else happens as a result of that and turf wars. So big problem with that. I like how this episode is just dedicated to a lot of amazing people, no?
Yeah.
We're talking about so many people that have or are making huge differences in our lives. Next guy, baby, you want to say Mr.
Which one?
Huff.
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Wim
so
Hof.
good too.
Oh my God.
I think he's from Sweden. I think he's Swedish.
No, from Netherlands.
No.
Netherlands.
No.
Yes, he is.
No, I bet you.
He is?
I bet you.
Okay.
I bet you. I bet you ice cream for myself.
Ice cream for yourself?
Yeah, because I'm going to win.
And what if you lose?
I don't know.
Payam, are you searching?
A glass of wine for you?
What? Wim Hof. That's WIMHOF.
It's either Sweden or Switzerland.
No.
I bet you.
No.
I bet you. Go up,
Look,
up.
He's Dutch.
No.
Oh.
No. Go up. Born.
Baby, look at this.
No,
look at this.
I want to see where he was born. No, I want to see where he was born. He was born.
Is it Dutch extreme?
No, that just means he might have a citizenship there. Doesn't mean he's born there.
Netherlands.
I mean, Netherlands and Swiss.
Oh my god, I love how you're just being
okay, well, I kind of didn't want to win because ice cream is full of sugar.
Oh,
and it's bad
I
for
see.
you.
So you just wanted to just give me a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Thank you, because
You're
mine is
welcome.
running out. Do you
Of
want to
course.
grab my glass of wine?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. No
Thank
worries.
you. That's what you get for losing. Give me a
There's
glass
no
of
such
wine.
thing as losing. It's all about experiences, okay?
Thank you.
And it's all about learning. So I learned
I'll
something
take my
new.
wine now. The next one we got is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Well, the Dalai Lama also doesn't need any description or explanation or introduction. He is also being a mentor of many world figures. When Dalai Lama comes to the US, he gets the red carpet treatment and everything works beautifully. Shows you where his stance is in the world. Oh, thank you, love. After the Dalai Lama, we got Michelangelo. Michelangelo was, the painter, artist, engineer, really crazy thinker. Again, he doesn't need any introduction.
What about, is it the director of Inception?
Oh, Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Good call, baby.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan is Payon.
He's a director, right?
Yes, he's a director. Is he also a screenwriter, Payon?
Writer, director, producer.
Oh, wow.
Of the same movie?
And cinematographer in his early movies.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So writer, director, screenwriter, director, producer, and he started as a cinematographer. He's actually, I think, still one of the very, very few who refuses to use CGI, right?
CGI and 3D.
Yeah, and 3D. Everything he does is still on 35 mil, and it was Tenet on 35 mil, Paya?
70.
Oh, 70 mil. Oh, wow. He doesn't go digital. He just likes to go old school analog, and
Which is amazing.
And it also makes it so much more difficult because so many of the tricks that you see in all these action movies are all done with post-production, CGI, and all that kind of stuff. When you do everything analog and it's all done with no CGI, it's all done like you got Interstellar. That was amazing to watch the behind the scenes of that. I think Payam's getting to like an overflow of hormones in his body right now. Right? I was like, ooh, this is like talking music to his ear right now.
Or even Tenet.
I don't know if Tenet has no CGI because that's kind of like weird, impossible. Like, how do you
Only
not?
300 frames of CGI.
And how many total frames in total?
In Tenet is like 2 hours something, so it's
2 hours times 24 times 60.
So
What?
technically what you see is just as real as it is. The digital only helps to just clean up, not to change things.
Did you just say there's only 300 frames of
frames? Like just
Wow.
removing
Oh my
angles,
Do you know what 300 frames is? 300 frames is basically like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because every frame, every second is 24.
Just as a touch up.
Yeah, it's just like literally like if you
It's
have
like a
4
little
of them-
cover
Oh
up.
no, it's not 5 seconds. It's like 4. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's a 2 and a 2 hour, 2 and
That's
a
12
half
seconds.
hour movie. It's a
Yeah.
very long movie.
That's about 12. That's about
Such
12
a beautiful
seconds.
movie. Even Inception. Oh my God. I can
my
watch
God.
that movie on repeat.
Inception is absolutely nuts. That completely. And the funny thing is, all of Christopher Nolan's movies, they have like multiple different like levels of understanding and digesting them. So
Yeah.
like when I watched, just like Matrix was the same too. When I watched Inception the first time, I was like, that's interesting. People are sleeping, going in their dreams. And then now I'm like, whoa, talk about lucid dreaming. That's like next level stuff. So he's even Interstellar. He actually brought in a whole team of scientists to help him on the, science of possibilities of different dimensions, the black holes, wormholes, then warping, and so many different things. So he doesn't mess around. That guy, I love that guy. which brings us to the next person in the list, Madame Helena Balvatsky. Or if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I really apologize. But she's a co-founder of the Theosophical Society, and this is definitely something that if you have ever kind of dwelled into the world of higher consciousness and spirituality, she is basically the godmother of spirituality. She's the person that came out with so many things that we are still to this day processing as information, as original information, and she's out there amongst the top of the top. From the 1880, if I'm not mistaken, that's around the time she was around. Then next up, we got Annie Besant, and she is actually... wow. 300 books and pamphlets written and she was around the same, she was alive around the same time as Madame Balvatsky. Miss Besant was actually
part of
Mrs. Besant. Yeah. What?
Freemasonry.
Yeah, she was a Freemason as well. She did so much good for the world, for India. She actually was a big advocate of India actually coming out of the colonization of UK. Weirdly.
Yeah. Funny enough, I just wanted to touch on something. I feel like a lot of, we have a lot of woke people in the States and all over the world,
yes.
But there's so many of them in UK and India.
Yes, India is the birthplace of some of Buddha.
Yeah.
Like Buddha.
Yeah.
Have Buddha. It just doesn't get more woke than that.
Yeah. Like even Jay Shetty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who he is.
Or
Vishen, yeah.
So many
for
of them.
sure. Yeah.
So many of them. Osho.
Yeah.
So many
Dalai Lama.
Swamis.
Was he Indian too?
No, I think he's from Tibet, which would be areas of China. But Maharishi was also from India. So many of them. Many of them. The thing is, when it comes to spirituality and understanding, humans' understanding of consciousness and the higher powers that we have access to that we choose not to utilize, the East has been writing texts and articles and books, the Vedics, right? They've been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's just that the West is just learning what they were talking about.
Yeah.
We have so many scholars that are just kind of waking up and they're like, oh, let's go see what the Easterns were saying about, energy healing, your consciousness, your energy body, your all that kind of stuff that they've been talking about for thousands of years. So yes, the last two people we got Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. Yes, I don't know if I said it if I could have said it any better. I apologize to our Russian friends out there. But this man over here, he is the guy that actually came out with periodic table in chemistry. So,
and if it was because of him, there would have been.
Well, somebody else could have come along at some point, but the thing is, when he did come up with the periodic table, he actually said in his memoir that the idea came to him in a dream out of his body.
Which usually happens in everybody. Not everybody, but majority of the people.
Yeah, Einstein said the same thing too. Einstein says that a lot of stuff comes
Eckhart
to him.
Tolle says the same thing too.
Eckhart Tolle says the same thing. Michael Singer, right?
Michael A. Singer. We didn't talk about
big
him.
Author, yes, Michael A. Singer.
Michael A. Singer. He's my man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't wait to go to Florida.
We did talk about Michael Singer last time, actually.
We did, but not this time.
Episode. We can't wait to go to Florida and visit his estate. That's definitely in our plans for this summer, and we are going to bring a lot of that stuff to you all as well. So yes, even Nikola Tesla, he actually says how he got to understand the power of electricity, of earth, and kind of harnessing that was through his meditation and his out-of-body experiences, through his consciousness. That these are all in stuff that are out there. And these are the people who have literally shifted, like between Einstein in physics, Nikola Tesla engineering, physics, electricity, and like Mendeleev, which is chemistry. These people have and like Ken Wilbur, you have people who have, and Mozart, in every department, the people who have been forever legendary and living legends, they have been woke.
Yeah.
These are not people who were losers. These are not people who were broke, or I mean, poor Nikola Tesla, he did die in he was poor. He died in a hotel alone, but that's because they literally wanted that to happen to him. Sadly, there were powers beyond his control at the time that literally Nikola Tesla, I think, knew too much for his own good. That's the point, that you're getting ahead of yourself ahead of humanity, and these companies are coming in, they're like, no, sorry, we still got trillions of dollars to make a year. You can't fuck
more
this.
than that.
You can't
Gazillions.
miss this. You can't miss this.
Extra
up forever.
gazillions that God knows what they want it for.
Yeah, no, sorry. And that's why they took all of his findings on the, electricity and the power of it and harnessing it, and now none of that exists. Last person we're going to talk about, Albert Hoffman. Albert Hoffman is the scientist that in I believe it was between 40 to 60, I'm going to put the exact year on, but he came up with LSD, which has revolutionized how humans look at psychedelics. And this study in the world of psychology is studying human psyche. And the funny thing is, psychologists actually say that psychedelics, which would be like, LSD and psilocybin, which would be like the active ingredient in mushrooms, are basically a telescope, as would be to a physicist. So they are tools that would allow them as professionals, or you or whoever, to kind of go inside and zoom right into where you need and fix something and come right back out. Things that were actually, or still to this day, are impossible otherwise with modern day medicine that we have.
And you missed one. Oprah Winfrey. How do you, if you don't know Oprah?
You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows Oprah. If you live in an English speaking country, you know Oprah.
Oprah's huge.
One of the biggest entertainers of all time. She's come a far way on her own too, right? Like Oprah didn't have this extravagant life from the beginning.
No.
And,
no. If you go back into her childhood, she has a very rough childhood, yes. Actually. But she's strong.
So that's what again, the whole point of this podcast, our lovely friends, was to show you that when you are speaking of people who are woke, when you're speaking of people who have had their awakening and they're aware and present, and their consciousness is all present at any moment, helping them to push them forward in what they want to do, they become amazingly and unbelievably, which I hate that word, by the way, more successful in whatever field they want to focus on. So
because they don't put any limits for themselves.
That's right. Because the limits we put ourselves, the restrictions, the limits, the boundaries, the confinements that we build around ourselves and surround ourselves with. It's
all in your head.
They're all in our head. They're all instilled in us ever since we are kids, starting from the most basic who we are, which we reference to as our name. That's already an agreement that we make with ourselves, with our family, and with our society. And then it starts going from there, what's your name, who you're from, where you're from, who are your parents, what do you study, what do you like to do, what do you not like to do, what ticks you off, what makes you upset, what makes you happy. These are only beliefs, and if we just let go of those beliefs, that is literally called being awake. when you're awake.
Which is all kind of like restrictions anyways.
Yeah, they're literally defining yourself. I was saying this to Payam today as well. I don't know which philosopher it was, but there was a philosopher. Oh, by the way, Plato, the ancient philosopher.
I think he was also an astrologist.
Well, yes, back then, I guess if you were a philosopher, scientist, astrologist, everything was kind of intermingling.
Twined,
yeah. Mathematics, physics, everything was just one kind of thing. But yeah, he was also very conscious and awake as well. So the thing is, if you understand that when we are saying the process of waking up, we are not referring to, let's just drop everything and like let's just go like naked in the nature and start like humping trees. Like that's what people literally think. They're like, wait, but like if I'm gonna wake up, like isn't that gonna be like I'm not gonna be like in a community with others? No, like it literally doesn't mean that. It means that now you're just not going to be bound.
Basically, it just means that you realize that you have a consciousness, and your consciousness is different than that what you associate yourself with, which is mostly your body and your brain. And you just realize that your consciousness is what controls your mind and your body.
100%.
And as soon as you realize that you are not your mind or your body, and you are consciousness on planet Earth trying to experience a human life experience, and that's all it is,
That's right on. Yeah, that's what being an awakened human means.
It doesn't mean you go cuckoo. It doesn't mean you're gonna sing Kumbaya.
You actually had this concern, remember? You were like, but what it means, like what do you when you wake up? And I had like other friends of mine like that I was just speaking to like 2 days ago, and they are at the verge of kind of waking up, but a lot of times they're very afraid. They're like, but like what if I wake up? And like I'm like, what if you wake up? You wake up every day. What's wrong? Like when you're dreaming at night and you're having a nightmare, or even if it's a just beautiful dream, what happens when you wake up? Nothing. You're just like, oh, okay, that was a good dream, or oh, then that was really crappy.
Yeah.
Regardless, you just kind of like, okay, whatever. You just start living your life. That literally is what the process of awakening is. Nothing happens. It's just your view of the world changes because you're not bound to those definitions that you agreed with in your own mind that were defining your life, your world, your relationships, your possibilities, and more importantly, your limitations.
Yeah.
The limitations that we put on ourselves, they are the worst things that we can do to ourselves to experience life. And actually, Matthew McConaughey has a video conversation with Vishen. I would really like to show a little piece of that. Let's watch it and actually come back.
Unbelievable! What a foolish word, a rude and disrespectful word. We think we use it to flatter and give credit to. Wow, what an unbelievable play. What an unbelievable film. What an unbelievable act of courage. What an unbelievable sunset. Now, why would we define things that are incredible and awesome, things that actually make us believe in them more, with this pillar of autonomy? Don't like the word at all. And think we should get rid of it, because the things we usually say unbelievable about are the things, as I said, that make us believe in the awesomeness of life more.
As you can see, as Mathew actually says as well, by the way, I really love him as well. He's a very, very capable artist. He says that the word unbelievable or anything equivalent to it should be really taken out of the language or out of dictionary, because
you're setting limitations for yourself.
Absolutely. And we think it's a compliment, where it's not. Indeed, it's actually not a compliment. The word unbelievable is a limitation, which really just says that I cannot believe that this is happening, but at the same token, good for them. So in really just one word, not only you set yourself inside a parameter that I cannot believe this is
It
even
just shows
doable.
how small your brain is.
Yes, that's it, exactly. and at the same time, you're literally bringing your huge, infinite, unbounded possibility of world to this little room where you're like, oh, I cannot believe this just happened.
Oh, believe it. Wake up.
Yeah, believe it. That's the thing. And that's what he says too. He says, just believe that it's happening. Believe that the world is possibilities that are just confined by your own understanding of the world. And, I really cannot say a lot more on that subject. But I think in this podcast, one thing that we wanted to kind of drive home, one message that we wanted to drive home was that
awakening is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It is not a cuckoo thing. It is not a weird thing. It is actually an empowering thing. It is something that every human, it is our birthright to be conscious.
I mean, it is you.
It is our birthright.
It's us.
The funny thing is when we are born, we are all completely present and conscious, right? We are there. We are awake.
Yeah, that's why when you witness like little children, they sometimes have an imaginary friends. Sometimes they see things. Sometimes they believe they have powers, magical powers.
That's right.
And
well, it's not that they believe. They do.
They do.
They are communicating with things. Like you see this in a lot of kids where they are talking to each other. You see a kid just talking with, like, playing with something, and then they're just talking to their imaginary friend. That imaginary friend
does exist for them.
Does exist. It's just that we fail to see it because we have conditioned ourselves that they cannot exist.
Yeah.
And the problem is, not only we don't see them, parents actually get in the way of that.
They discourage them.
They discourage it.
And then they take their kids to psychologists.
Yes.
And psychologists are like, no, like, this is not good.
Absolutely.
Your kid's going insane. And as soon as your kid has an understanding that there's something wrong with that, they stop talking about it.
Absolutely.
They stop engaging with it.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine that I was telling you about. She was actually, as a child, taken to a psychologist or a doctor, and they put her on meds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. My aunt would always tell me she did have an imaginary friend that she used to talk to.
And obviously was discouraged, and she dropped it.
Yeah. And I thought I had superpowers. I mean, I did, I guess, but...
And you do. And you do. You have superpowers. Don't forget. The funny thing is, we kind of tend to forget. This is something that came right out of Bashar, which I really love. But he says that miracles are not unique incidents, and they're not one-offs. Miracles are a natural part of the system, the natural part of the planet, the universe. Miracles are the universe catering to meet our resonating frequencies that are our passions, that are the reasons that we are here on planet Earth. So in the process of awakening and being conscious, when you acknowledge your powers and your passion, and you kind of just follow and let it guide you, instead of letting our monkey mind tell us what it thinks is best for us based on its comprehensive information, which is
we're just using it as advanced monkeys.
Literally, yeah. Like, it's just like a bunch of memories that have been kind of stored in our brain. And we think, oh, we know everything. The funny thing is, I always love to say this. Einstein, the smartest scientist ever.
He said, the more that I know, the more I know that I know nothing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you cannot know more than Einstein.
Yeah. I mean.
And the funny thing is, anybody who says, I know, those are the people that don't know.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, the more you know, you don't know. The least you know, what people who know very little, they go around and just making so much noise.
Because they're so closed.
That's right.
They're so closed and they think that they know everything. But and those are the people that actually set more limitations for themselves. And the more you're open about possibilities and don't set any limitations for yourself, that's when you actually start learning and knowing more.
Yes, and you will find your resonating frequencies of energy that will drive
higher.
you, right? That will bring you higher, and they will drive you forth, which is really your consciousness, which is really the reason you're on planet Earth, to experience what you want to experience as a consciousness, right? And by blocking ourselves to it, or the possibility of it even existing, we just allow our monkey mind, the monkey brain, to just take over and tell us, oh, don't do that. That I remember we did that and it didn't feel good. Oh, let's do that. That does feel good. There's a lot of sugar there. Let's just go have that one instead. So we get drawn towards making so many bad decisions. And as I was saying, as Bashar says, miracles that are universe's way of giving us what we need to complete our journey, to complete our experience, to achieve what we came here for in abundance, which the universe keeps on giving, we will miss it because our monkey brain thinks it knows better.
Yeah.
Thinks, oh, it just has all the answers, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, I know me and you always talk about all these things, which is beautiful. By the way, guys, it's such a blessing to have a partner who can, talk about these things with you, because it was so difficult when, like, I personally was experiencing this, and now that we're both experiencing it, it is such a fulfilling, happy, joyous, positive, peaceful relationship. And anything that happens, like, the funny thing is, there is no I know more or she knows more. At one point when everybody's awake, everybody just knows, and if you think you don't like or you don't enjoy, it doesn't mean that the other person is wrong. It doesn't mean that you're right. It just means that at the time, that is what it is. And with that alone, so many, I think, of relationship issues can just be resolved.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of relationship issues are based on the fact that people don't want to tolerate the opposing view, and they want to love conditionally, right? They want to love each other conditionally. Oh, I love you if
I love you. Yeah.
If you don't do this, I love you until you are like so and so.
Or if you do this, or if you don't do this, or if you say this, or if you don't, or if you dress a certain way, or if you don't dress a certain way.
Everybody knows the rest. The list goes on and on. But the whole point is, one of the reasons that happens is obviously because, not one of the reasons, the main reason that happens is because we choose to be in our little world that we made, and we agreed with ourselves, and we think that is all that exists. Meanwhile, I don't know what we are thinking, because this is what really boggles me and boggles my mind, because when we all die, which is the end of the journey on planet Earth, by all means, it's not the end of anything. It's just like literally waking up from a dream. The body is left here with all its learnings.
Or materialistic stuff.
Yes, everything is left here. The only thing you're going to bring back to, the world, the realm of the consciousness, is just
your consciousness.
Experience. And it's just an experience.
Yeah.
Like, I love comparing it to dreaming, right? Because when you dream, when you wake up, right?
The only thing you have with you is the memory of the dream.
Even a feeling. Like, you don't remember every detail of everything, right? You're like, oh, that was a weird dream. I was running and then something weird happened, and then I came upon a person. Wow, that was really weird. Right? Yeah. Or you say, oh, that was a scary one. What was that monster chasing me? I don't know what that was. But you don't remember how, like, the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
You can, like, that's what lucid dreaming is, but that's the whole practice. But that's a very, I guess, beautiful comparison of this life on many different levels. as above, so below. Like, you know, like all is one, one is all. If something is happening right now, if you're going in a dream and you're able to dream and experience something in a state of not being conscious, which is sleeping, and then you come out and then you're like, oh, okay, as real as that felt and as crazy as that was, but well, it was not real. Well, at the moment it felt real, right? Like I always like to say this, like when you're in a dream and if you're running away from a wild monster that's chasing you, like a Godzilla or something, you never actually, you're like running for your life. You're like, ah! You actually never stop, and you're like, wait a second, you guys went extinct like a million years ago. What are you doing? No, you're just running for your life. But, you know, like in the same sense, and then you're running and running and running, and then you just like, you get to like a room, you open a door, it is night outside, then all of a sudden it's like on the other side is daytime, the monster is not chasing you and people are partying, so you're just like, yeah, this feels good, and then you start partying. You don't even think that 2 minutes ago you were running away from a monster. You don't even question anything. You don't question that it was nighttime, there was a monster running after me, a dinosaur, and now it's daytime and we are partying. No, everything is normal. It's just as real as it gets. You wake up and you're like, oh, that was a weird dream. I think I ate a lot late last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how we think about it. Same thing with this life, guys. Don't be so concerned with every little thing. Just
don't take it so seriously.
To possibilities. Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Jim Carrey actually did this movie. Remember Yes Man?
Yes Man.
Yes Man. That was a great
yes,
movie.
Man.
Yes Man. That was a great movie. I really loved it actually.
Yeah, all his movies are great.
Yeah, and it just shows you with a simple, mere possibility of being open, your world will change.
Yeah.
It will change.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When you're open, so many things changes in your life. As soon as you start closing yourself,
that's it. Everything
from the outside world, you're stuck.
How quickly does your world change, Star, as soon as you wake up?
Like a month and a half. And that's like but you have to be conscious about it. You have to make this conscious decision that you want to implement it in your day-to-day life. Like, and obviously, yes, at some point in your day or like even weeks, you might, you know, it might get out of your hand, you know, because, you know, life gets busy. You might go to work. You have situations to deal with. But the moment it clicks in that your consciousness is there, the more you use it, the more you're aware.
So it's like a muscle, right?
Yeah,
the more
exactly.
you use it.
I can't say that because, you know, I can't say it's a muscle because it's not. But it works exactly like a muscle. The more you use it,
the more powerful
the faster
it
is going to come take over your life.
Yes. The more you can actually utilize it.
Yeah.
Right? And
then if you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah.
Oh, shit. We're just on a roll with these one-liners. Okay. How do you feel about today so far?
Good.
I feel good too.
Good.
Do you think we should call it a wrap?
I think that's a lot of information for someone. I think if anyone's interested and, you know, they just want to get to know a little bit more, maybe they can just look into all the people that we talked about today, a little bit about their backgrounds, about their life stories, where they came from, their struggles in life. Because when you read about them, they kind of have a lot of similarities in their past, especially in their childhood or in their like young adult lives. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's good to, you know, look them up a little bit.
Also, another thing that I wanted to say is, as you're experiencing and you're nearing your awakening, because every human can and has it in them. As I said, it's a birthright to be aware of your consciousness. It is not something that is a bonus, or it's not something that some people can, we cannot. Every human has it in them. But as that comes about closer and closer, and as you get closer to it, a lot of things start happening that really weirdly start
They're kind of
aligning.
like clues to tell you, like signs to tell you are on the right path.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings me to what you said last time with, and what you closed us with. You are in the right place.
At the right time.
At the right time.
And everything that's happening to you is exactly what's supposed to happen to you at the same time.
And as soon as you start surrendering and you start accepting and just enjoying the moment instead of judging and saying it's good or bad, just take it in with no preconception.
With no labels.
Yes, no labels, no preconception, no judgments. Just experience life as it is happening, and you will see everything will just start lining itself perfectly, and things will start happening as you need in abundance. And it's not as you want, it's as you need. As your consciousness needs to fulfill its purpose, things will happen. You don't need to try. And honestly, if you're here for any reason watching this, it is a part of your journey. We are honored, and I love that you're here with us. Thank you so much that you listened to us all the way to the end, if you did make it out this far.
Yeah, thank you for every single one of you still listening to this till the end of the show.
Yeah, like we truly value your times. We
appreciate your trust.
Yes, and it is a tight-knit community. As you're going through your awakening, the community is embracing each other. The community does embrace change. The community does embrace acceptance. We try not to judge. Obviously we are all creatures of habit, unfortunately. So a lot of who we are is still instilled in us. But you
have to learn to observe.
Yes, and kind of be a judge at the moment.
No, you shouldn't even judge. It's just all about observation.
Yes.
Just observe the moment.
I'm sorry, I didn't say judge. I meant to say to stop being a judge and to actually be present. That's what I meant to say. Thank you for correcting that. Also, if there's one thing I want to leave every one of you with, whether you are experiencing an awakening or you're not, is that to enjoy life on a higher level, stop using any word that has a negative connotation on yourself and right after on other people. Like swearing, cussing,
negative words.
My memory is bad, I'm tired, all those things. Even if you are feeling low in your energy, do not voice out that I'm tired, I'm low in energy. Do say that, oh, okay, I need to feel better, I need to work out more, I need to have more energy. And as you do those things, good things are going to happen to you, and you're going to have a lot better of an experience. And I think that's something that I really, really wanted to touch on.
Yeah, it's literally what you seek, what you get.
Literally, yes.
You shouldn't be dreaming bigger, darling.
What?
Huh?
You shouldn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
Exactly.
Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to dream a little bit bigger, darling. That's a good one, actually. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Please, if you're watching this and you did enjoy the concept or what we're doing here, like the video, share it with whoever else you think needs to hear this. I think every human can hear a little bit of positivity, encouragement, know that they're not alone, know that they're on the right track, know that we are all superhumans. There is no such thing as a human. We're all superhumans. We choose to be humans, okay? We choose to be human, but we're all super. Subscribe to our channel, please, on YouTube. Our channel is It's Better Together, and it is a letter, like it's a number 2, not ATO. And our Instagram is the same. We do want to hear from you. If your experience is along any of these, come and reach out to us and talk to us. And baby, you want to say anything else before we say bye?
Thank you so much for trusting us, for staying with us this whole time, for listening to us, and spending your time with us. We truly appreciate it.
We do. And a special thanks to Payam, our main guy, in running this and helping us man this operation. Until the next time, we try to do this every 2 weeks. Yes. Stay positive.
Stay peaceful. Choose love.
And stay beautiful, because you are beautiful. And, until the next time. All right. Thank you.